Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be showing you a little book haul that I did yesterday, a little charity shop book haul as well. Charity shops are great places to go for books. It's kind of one of those things, I feel like it's so obvious that sometimes people, including myself, I just kind of forget how much stuff charity shops can actually have. I mean, I don't know quite what I was expecting. I think I was expecting to come back with like 3, maybe 4. I mean, I came back with 7. So, I mean, you know, it's not too bad, I guess. But no, it's a great way because they're cheap. I think all of these books here literally cost me £7.25 in total. They're all £1 each, pretty much. And not only do you get cheap books, you're also helping out a good cause in return. So yeah, it's definitely a much cheaper alternative than buying them new in bookshops. And sometimes you can find really nice little gems that you wouldn't have normally thought about reading. So before I get going into the books that I bought, a little moment of silence from my tripod that I broke after filming my last video. As you can see, I managed to just snap it clean off. Honestly, don't quite know how it happened, still don't quite know how it happened, but the remaining 2 legs on my tripod are currently like bent at a very weird angle. Yeah, it wasn't great. Oops. Well, don't need you anymore. Okay, so getting started into the books. So the first book I actually bought is actually by a author my mum really likes. My mum also was an English literature student. She studied English literature, so she must have like quite good taste. So I thought, you know what, I'll give one of her books a go, and that is Victoria Hislop's Those Who Are Loved. And the little blurb on the back, I'm going to apologise in advance for all the Greek island names I'm going to probably completely butcher. Athens, 1941. Nazi forces occupy Greece and a nation falls apart. 15-year-old Themis comes from a family polarised in its political views. The Nazi occupation only deepens the fault lines between those she loves while it reduces Greece to destruction. In the civil war following the end of the occupation, Themis joins the communist army to fight for her beliefs. Ultimately imprisoned on the infamous islands of exile, Makaronesus and then Trikeri, Themis encounters another prisoner whose life will intertwine with hers in ways neither can foresee. She finds she must weigh her principles against her desire to escape and live. As she looks back on her life, Themis realises how tightly the personal and political are entangled. While some wounds heal, others deepen. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to expect going into this, but it does sound like there's kind of going to be a nice exploration, an exploration of, like, kind of family ties and how these are kind of affected by war, because ultimately, like, no matter who you are, war kind of forces you to choose. You can't kind of sit on the fence. I feel so many people, like, myself included, kind of when it comes to politics, sometimes it's kind of a case of you think, like, well, if I sit down and I just kind of don't talk about it, I'm not going to cause any problems. But in these kind of extreme situations where you're basically, you can't really keep silent, especially if if you're in a situation where you're forced to kind of pick a side. And that's when these kind of fault lines, as they kind of call it, really come to the surface. And I am very excited to read this. I'm not sure when I'm going to get round to it. Hopefully sometime before the end of 2022. Anyway, moving on. So the next book that I got was one that I have been meaning to read for ages. And I was very happy when I saw this. I didn't actually see this, my friend pointed it out, because, yeah, that's why you go book shopping with friends, because when they find the books you've been looking for, because I'm blind. Well, I'm not blind, I just don't have a very good attention span when it comes to skimming bookshelves. And that is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. So, I know they've still got the price tag on there. This was the most expensive book on the haul, which was £1.25. Still a bargain. So this is obviously, it's had a TV show adaptation. I've not seen the TV show adaptation. I'm very excited to read this book. I've heard very good things about it. For anyone who just doesn't know anything about it, again, I'll just do a quick read of the blurb, and hopefully there's less words in this one that I don't know how to say. In the placid, progressive suburb of Shaker Heights, everything is meticulously planned. From the colours of houses to the successful lives its residents will go on to lead. And no one embodies this spirit more than Elena Richardson. Mia Warren, an enigmatic artist and single mother, arrives in this idyllic bubble with her teenage daughter Pearl, and rents a house from the Richardsons. Soon Mia and Pearl become more than just tenants. All four Richardson children are drawn to the alluring mother-daughter pair, but Mia carries with her a disregard for the rules that threatens to upend this carefully ordered community. When the Richardsons' friends attempt to adopt a Chinese-American baby, a custody battle erupts that dramatically divides the town and puts Mia and Mrs. Richardson on opposing sides. Mrs. Richardson becomes determined to uncover the secrets of Mia's past, but her obsession will come at an unexpected and devastating cost to her own family and Mia's. So, basically, I think this book is going to, and I've heard, as I say, very good things about how it handles it, kind of really look at the intersections between these kind of very two different families, and basically the kind of traditional, perfect, orderly family isn't always the best option. In fact, as you know, I think it's kind of interesting how far some people would go to kind of protect that, when really it's not that important. Just you do you, be happy. You know, as long as the way that your kind of family life works for you, and like you see it working for the people, just don't stick your nose in, don't get involved, you know. But some people, whatever her name was, Eleanor Richardson, they just have to get involved, don't they? Anyway, next book on the list is another Victoria Hislop book, and that is The Island. So at some point in the not too distant future, I am hoping to do a video kind of reading some of my mum's favourite books. And this was one of the books that she kind of said was one of her favourites. And we don't have a copy of the house don't have a copy in the house anymore. So I found this again for £1, and I thought, let's get it, you know, let's get it while I see it. And typically this was the one I was looking for when I actually bought the other one. I wasn't kind of expecting to find it, because like, what are the chances of actually finding the one book that you want to find? Well, in this case, I actually found 2 books that I wanted to find, so, you know, great. So this one is: on the brink of a life-changing decision, Alexis Fielding longs to find out about her mother's past. But Sophia has never spoken of it. All she admits is to growing up in a small Cretian village before moving to London. When Alexis decides to visit Crete, however, Sophia gives her daughter a letter to take to an old friend, and promises that through her she will learn more. Arriving in Plaka, Alexis is astonished to see that it lies a stone's throw from a tiny deserted island at Spinalonga, Greece's former leper colony. Then she finds Photone, and at last hears the story that Sophia has buried all her life, the tale of her great-grandmother, Eleni, and her daughters, and a family rent by tragedy, war, and passion. She discovers how intimately she is connected with the island, and how secrecy holds them all in its powerful grip. So yeah, I'm very, I don't know what to expect going into this, but I'm very excited to read it. But I'm probably going to save this for when I kind of make the video kind of reading my mum's favourite books. Again, don't know when that's going to be. Hopefully before the end of 2022. So, moving on. This book I've never heard of before, and this is probably the one thing you should never do, because I know what there's, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, but I picked this one up because it had cherry blossoms on the spine, and I like cherry blossoms, and I thought it was a really beautiful cover, so I just thought, you know what, why not, let's go for it. And that is The Phone Box at the Edge of the World by Laura Imai Messina. I really hope I said that right. I probably didn't, because if there's one thing to take from this video, it's that I can't actually read. Oops. So, we all have something to tell those we have lost. On a windy hill in Japan, in a garden overlooking the sea, stands a disused phone box. For years, people have travelled to visit the phone box, to pick up the receiver and speak into the wind, to pass their messages to loved ones no longer with us. When Yui loses her mother and daughter in the tsunami, she wonders how she will carry on. One day she hears of the phone box and decides to make her own pilgrimage there, to speak to the people she loved the most. But when you have lost everything, the right words can be the hardest thing to find. When Yui meets Takashi, a bereaved husband whose own daughter has stopped talking in the wake of their loss, what happens next will warm your heart, even when it feels though it is breaking. So this is also, I'm expecting this to be quite sad, but kind of sad in a kind of like letting go kind of way, you know? I feel like there's a lot of books that really focus on the trauma of having people ripped away and less on the healing process, and I feel like this is going to be addressing that healing process while exploring some of the kind of the very deep and intense feelings that these people are going through. And this is also based on a true story, apparently, so that's also something to bear in mind while reading it. I'm very excited, actually. This seems like it seems like a really, yeah, I have a feeling this is going to break me, but you know, I look forward to being broken by you. Okay, so the last books on this, on the little book haul that I did, are 3 that I am very ashamed to say that I've never read. And that is the Hunger Games trilogy. So, yeah, no, I picked up all 3. The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay. I won't go into too much detail on these because I feel like most people at this point probably know what the Hunger Games is. But basically, I feel like when the Hunger Games was a really big thing, all my friends who were really hyped about it were the ones who were also really hyped about like the Mortal Instruments and Divergent, and I wasn't a fan of the Mortal Instruments and Divergent, so I just kind of assumed that this would kind of fall into that same category. My friend whose book recommendations I trust, the one who I went on the book haul with, gave me a look of pure disgust when I said I'd never read them, so I thought, okay, maybe I probably should. You know, they were kind of very big, but you know, they're incredibly popular when they first came out, and they have left quite a legacy really through not just the books, but also through the films, so I should probably read them. For anyone who hasn't heard of the Hunger Games and has been living under a rock, I will briefly read the blurb on the back of this book. I won't bother with the other ones because, you know, spoilers, but winning will make you famous, losing means certain death. In a dark vision of the near future, 12 boys and 12 girls are forced to appear in a live TV show called The Hunger Games. There is only one rule: kill or be killed. When 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen steps forward to take her sister's place in the games, she sees it as a death sentence. But Katniss has been close to death before. For her, survival is second nature. So this is a very dystopian setting, and yeah, so basically it's just these children being forced to go and kill each other for sport. I am very excited to get a sense of world building and kind of see how this book is kind of just built up. And one other thing, just before I finish, is for some reason, this really confused me and gave like a mini existential crisis. But they have like a quote on the side from Stephenie Meyer, who I'm pretty sure is the one who wrote Twilight. I don't really care, to be honest. But I just kind of saw it and I was like, wait, Stephenie Meyer wrote The Hunger Games? What? No, Stephenie Meyer didn't write The Hunger Games, it was Suzanne Collins. Stephenie Meyer, get off the spine of The Hunger Games, please. Like, you don't belong there. But no, for like a brief like 10 minutes before I actually saw like Suzanne Collins' name at the top, I was having this mini freak out that The Hunger Games was actually written by the same person as Twilight, and I was about to just throw the whole trilogy out the window. But no, it's not that, it's just a stupid marketing decision. Like, why? Why would you market a book under the premise of what Stephenie Meyer says? Sorry, Stephenie Meyer, I'm sure you're a lovely person, but, I mean, get off the spine of the Hunger Games, please. Okay, so that is everything from me on my little book haul yesterday. Apologies for my inability to read out loud. I'm a hot mess, but I think we've already established that by now. If you like this video, please just go like and subscribe. Also, I'd be really interested for you guys to tell me where you like to go book shopping. You know, charity shops, bookstores, online. And also, you know, if you've bought any books recently that you're really excited to read, let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching, stay safe, bye.